Hello and welcome to the Week 6 edition of the Monster Pod, brought to you by thelines.com. Matt Brown, Steven Anders, joined this week by 4 for 4's Connor Allen. Houston Texans on the road at the New England Patriots. This is 6.5, a full touchdown at a couple of different spots. So if you want to play the Patriots, you can find a full 7 out there. 37.5 to 38 is our total. Steven, they're moving to Drake May. This is the stupidest decision of there's been a lot of stupid decisions in the NFL so far this year. This is the stupidest decision of the season so far. You didn't play the guy to start the year because you were worried it was a terrible offensive line and there were no playmakers on offense and he would just get out there and be a deer in headlights. Then you get 5 weeks of sample size to prove that you were right, that the offensive line is terrible and that you have no playmakers. You're like, oh, okay, well, hell, let's just run him out there. Then whatever. Like, this makes no sense. Like, the whole reason you didn't do it has been proven. So you were right. Like, you actually could just sit back and be like, hey, look at us, how right we were. We had a bad offensive line. We shouldn't have played our rookie. And instead, they're rolling him out here in week 6. I mean, this, I mean, Texans are going to win. Drake May's going to look bad in this game, but I don't know if I want to lay a touchdown. So probably just a pass for me.
No, I have an angle here, but I agree with you. It seems like the brass New England's listening to too much WEEI here because this makes no sense whatsoever. It does. They're going to have to roll him out every single play here because this line's decimated. All right. But I'll just say this. Clearly, the market doesn't see this as a downgrade. The line hasn't moved. If anything, it's coming back to 6.5 because it can't get any worse than it was, right? So we don't know if Drake May is good, and it's his first NFL start against a pretty good pass rush. I give you all of that, but he's being priced right now in the player prop market like he's Bo Nix. I mean, his passing yards total right now is 160. For comparison, Bo Nix is at 187. Deshaun Watson is at 190, who sidebar hasn't hit 190 in any game but one this year. So isn't this a decent spot, Connor, for some alts, whether it's Drake May in the passing game or the receivers? Like, I was playing around here. You can get plus 275 on Drake May to just have 200 passing yards. You can get 8-1 to combine that 200 passing yards with just 25 receiving yards for Hunter Henry, Jalen Polk, and Demario Douglas. Goes to 28-1 if you give him 40 yards each. Like, I'm getting a little out here, but this is negative great game script AF. So while he might get killed and take a lot of sacks, like, aren't they going to see what they have in this kid and throw the ball a heck of a lot more than they were doing with Jacoby Brissett? So I don't know. It seemed like a pretty low bar for me, given what we expect the game script to be, to get to 200 passing yards at the very least here for Drake May, who was a respected prospect.
So I in this instance, I love the negatively correlated parlays because Drake May throughout college was the prospect that had one of the highest air yards per attempt. He forced the ball downfield a lot, but he was not necessarily good at the play-to-play basis stuff. I worry about that a little bit against Houston on a play-to-play basis. So I did play under completions at 18.5, but I think that the upside is massive here because all it takes is a couple of long hits. This Houston team is allowing the lowest completion rate in the league. We also saw them blitz Caleb Williams 80%. I mean, they're going to do the same thing here, but that leaves them exposed. Right. So if Drake May can buy time or the blitz doesn't get home, Drake May might have 12 completions for 200 yards. That's something like that. I think is very much possible if guys can get open. So I'm going to be playing that. I don't, for anyone watching on sports books, if you do that on certain ones, you do under completions and over yards, it jacks up the odds a lot. So it makes it 10-1 or something like that on something like that. Whereas I think in this instance, it's probably not really negatively correlated with the sportsbooks price it like that. So that's kind of a fun look for this week because, yeah, I agree. With a lot of these guys, we don't know. And I mean, maybe they go run heavy. Ramondre Stevenson's banged up. Maybe they don't. Right. If they go pass heavy, he might get eaten alive. But maybe you just bet to throw a pick then too. Throw that in the SGP. Who knows?
Yeah, I'm trying to decide what I want to do with Tank Dell because it's one of those things where I don't know if they're going to need to pass, how much they're going to pass, how soon they get up. He's sitting in the low 50s right now from a prop perspective. He hadn't had the greatest season, and when Nico Collins out for the foreseeable future, I I don't want to say it's like hey, we need to get Tank Dell going because in this game that we're probably going to win anyway and have some confidence moving forward because he's going to need to be a big contributor type deal. But I do wonder how much they try to see because it's been weird with him this year. Like, it just hadn't been the same player. Like, hasn't really done the same stuff and all that. And maybe that was just the addition of Steph Diggs, right? That just kind of threw things kind of wonky, but it's going to be Dell and Diggs moving forward. So I don't know. There's something there. Maybe if I do play just a weird same game parlay or something like that, then maybe the Tank Dell angle comes into play there. I think they're going to need to do something. Guys, everything we do absolutely free, so go ahead, hit that subscribe button. Do appreciate that. If you have not checked out 4for4 and all that Connor and team over there are doing, you got to go over there, get in on that. Not just sports betting. I know this is a sports betting podcast. They got your fantasy needs as well, so don't give up yet. It's only week 6. I know it sucks. You're looking at your team and going like, I have no chance because all my guys are injured. Well, guess what? Other people have injured people too, so they'll help you figure all this out over there at 4for4. If you haven't done so already as well, lines.com, upper right-hand corner. Absolutely free Discord. You can go in there and chat all sports all season long. For Connor, for Steven, I'm Matt. Good luck on all your week 6 bets.